see the right atrium, which is this thing right here. Kind of see sort of a right ventricle sort of area, a left ventricle area, left atrium here. There's always a little bit of fat. We're not going to, we'll get to the rest of the stuff, the vessels and things like that in just a second. Obviously some major blood vessels coming in and leaving the heart, which are probably important to talk about. So, let's see. The big one here is the aorta, right, which branches straight off of the left ventricle. This is the major plumbing. This is the highest blood pressure right in here. The left ventricle pumps and blood comes out of here, and then there's immediately three little other major blood vessels. We get to these probably tomorrow night, but these three up here, you can see them, they're listed on here. The brachiocephalic trunk, the left common carotid, and the left subclavian, those are the three which branch off this is called the aortic arch. And then it descends and becomes the descending aorta, and we'll get to that next time. Then this big thing here is the pulmonary trunk, which takes blood to the lungs. And then this big guy here is the superior vena cava, which drains the superior vena cava is part of the venous system, drains the blood from all this part of the body to here. And then this big one coming from the bottom is the inferior vena cava, which is bringing all the blood from the inferior regions of the body. This word, auricle, means ear, right? So it says auricle of right atrium. Well, here it is. It looks like an ear, right? So this is the chamber that receives blood from the inferior and superior vena cava, but this little ear shape flap here, there's another one over here, they're just called auricles. You can see them on a sheep part. They look like ears. They go around. On the back, I don't know, the back looks like this. Nothing too exciting back there. I guess this thing I should probably tell you about. Here in the back of the heart, people always ask me, like, where is that? Where is that? I can't find it. This thing called the coronary sinus. The back of the heart, right here, this chamber right back here is the back of the right atrium, which means this is the big receiving chamber for used quote-unquote blood. Anyway, the coronary sinus is a little expanded, but a sort of little expanded area of a blood vessel back here in the back, because the coronary sinus is actually the area that collects all the used blood from coronary circulation. The coronary veins that service the heart, coronary veins, all kind of fill this thing called the coronary sinus, which you'll get to this probably not tonight, probably tomorrow night. Then it dumps it to the right atrium. So the coronary sinus is on the back. You can't see it on the sheet part. It's probably I've never been able to find it. All right, so let's look inside, and then we'll be finished with this. So just follow me with this. It's going to take me a minute. Just follow me with this, and then anyway. So here's the superior vena cava. This is bringing blood into the right atrium. The inferior vena cava is also bringing blood into the right atrium. This is a receiving chamber for venous blood. It's come from the tissues, so it's low in oxygen, high in CO2. Right, so this chamber fills with blood. The chamber below it is the right ventricle, which is one of the pumping chambers. What happens is this chamber fills with blood. It contracts a little bit, but not very much. But basically, just when it fills, it forces open one of the four control valves. The valve that separates the right atrium from the right ventricle is called the tricuspid valve, because it has three flaps, cusps. So this thing fills with blood and forces the tricuspid valve open, and the right atrium fills with blood. Okay? Now, the right atrium contracts and sends blood out the pulmonary trunk to the lungs for oxygenation. There is another valve. This valve right here at the base of the pulmonary trunk is called the pulmonary semilunar valve. So what happens is when this valve opens, the tricuspid valve opens, this chamber fills with blood. when this chamber contracts, you see the arrows are showing you the flow. When this chamber contracts, this valve closes and this valve is forced open, because you don't want blood flowing backwards. That would be not good. So this valve closes, this valve opens, and blood goes off to the lungs for oxygenation. And we're halfway done. On the other side, the right atrium is the receiving chamber for blood from the lungs. So the blood coming in here, the left atrium, has come from the lungs, so it's high in oxygen. Right? This chamber fills, there's another valve. This valve on this side is called the bicuspid, because it's only got two cusps. It's also called the bicuspid or the mitral, M-I-T-R-A-L, the mitral valve. So the left atrium fills, forces open the mitral valve. The left ventricle fills with blood. The left ventricle contracts. This valve closes, and then there's another valve, you really can't see it, called the aortic semilunar valve. In our heart models, it's located way up under here. Right? That opens. Blood goes out the aorta to all parts of your body. So, 4 valves. 2 semilunar valves and 2 cuspid valves. Bicuspid, tricuspid, pulmonary semilunar, aortic semilunar. Those are the valves which control flow. Right? It's got to. So that's the general architecture of the heart. Just a couple of more subtle things here than you'll finish with the heart. You can see on these valves, you can see this clearly in the sheep heart. You can actually see it in the calf heart with its heart. It's kind of cool to see. Anyway, these little flaps are anchored into the heart muscle with little strings.